Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and talk about things that are going on, a bit explain what's going on, and talk about things that I think that are being done right and or done wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
I'm Assistant Chief Wyatt Martin of the Houston Police Department. This critical incident briefing is intended to provide you with information about a death in custody that occurred in Houston on June 18, 2022. You're about to see video footage that is related to this incident. HPD conducts thorough investigations into death in custody incidents. These typically require investigators to interview multiple witnesses, view numerous hours of video footage, and analyze a significant amount of forensic evidence. It is important to note that we're in the very early stages of the investigation, and we continue to review additional evidence as it is collected and analyzed. The videos you're about to see can be graphic and may be difficult to watch. These videos may also contain strong language. Viewer discretion is advised. At approximately 2:20 a.m., a Houston police officer arrived at an apartment complex on Royden Drive, responding to a report of a suspicious person with a weapon, as well as reports of gunfire. The officer arrived and exited his patrol vehicle. The officer began searching the apartment complex when the officer heard gunshots. While trying to determine the source of the gunshots, the officer was struck by gunfire in both legs. Arriving officers began to administer first aid while other officers searched for the suspect. From witness statements, officers were able to determine that the suspect was Jamarcus Alexander Clemmons, who was inside a nearby apartment. HPD SWAT and the hostage negotiation team established contact with Mr. Clemmons and confirmed that he was the individual involved in the shooting. During several hours of negotiation, which included pleas from family members for him to surrender, Mr. Clemmons fired from inside the apartment. Officers did not return gunfire, but did deploy tear gas rounds. SWAT officers made entry following a long standoff and found Mr. Clemmons had taken his own life. No HPD officers discharged their duty weapon, and no one else was injured during this incident.
Okay, so nothing wrong with the audio. It was on buffer mode. But right off the bat, we know that this is a call involving a suspicious person with a weapon and shots have been fired. Can you guess what I'm going to complain about? This officer is neglecting to get out with a rifle. This is a call that starts out as a person having a gun and shots have been fired. And he is going there to investigate. When he comes across this person who has this gun, that person may want to try to shoot him. That means you're going into a potential gunfight. If you know that you're going into a potential gunfight, or you are in fact going to a gunfight, bring a rifle and bring all your friends with rifles. Rifles dominate gunfights. Rifles are more accurate. They have a longer barrel. There's more points of contact on the rifle when using it to be able to stabilize the overall system to make it more accurate. Whereas a pistol has a very short barrel and you only get 2 points of contact, your two hands. The littlest amount of movement that's interjected into the gun when you're firing it can throw your shot placement off. And up close, even though it throws it off a little bit, it's not that big of a deal. But as you increase distance, it becomes very, very noticeable. The terminal ballistics between the two are night and day. Rifle cartridges are just fucking devastating in comparison to pistol cartridges. Pistol cartridges kind of suck. They're pretty wimpy. It doesn't matter what you got, 9, 40, 45, all three of them suck. They all three about do the same damn thing. Rifle, the rifle does work. It will knock your dick in the dirt real quick. And I wish that more officers would get their rifles out, but it's just it's painfully obvious that there is something wrong within law enforcement, because you just don't see so many officers get their rifles out. I have some theories into why this is happening. It basically revolves around training or a lack of good training. And I think that those deficiencies need to be fixed to better prepare our officers so that they have a better chance of survival. I want to see a paradigm shift in how officers are responding to these kind of calls. I should never see an officer go to a gun call with just their pistol. They need to have a long gun out. Whether it's a shotgun or a rifle, they need to have a long gun out. All right, enough of that rant. Moving on.
Solely 19. You can send me a unit code 2. I'm hearing gunshots. We're on building 15.
That's there. They just dropped another call for the location. He's unit code 2, 801 Oregon.
So his cruiser is close by. After hearing these gunshots, he should have just went back to that cruiser and got the rifle out. Instead, he decides to press forward with his flashlight.
Need someone to check by with hold down 19 operator.
So let's talk about white light. White light is like a beacon, and it can be used against you. When you turn your light on and you keep it on, it is like you are broadcasting your location to everyone. You might as well put a tracker on you and give the bad guy the tracking device to see exactly where you're at when you keep your flashlight turned on the entire time. When you have your light on, it's broadcasting your position. Everyone knows where you're at. And when you point that light in certain directions, people know what you're looking at and what you are not looking at. Like the cliche prison breakout scene in a movie or something. The people break out of their cell and they go to the prison yard area and you see the spotlight slowly going across the yard. And then they see their moment and they run and they go out to, something out in the yard that they can hide behind. And then boom, the light comes back again while they're hiding. And as it passes, boom, they move again. And they get to another point and stop. And then the light comes by again. If you ever played flashlight tag at night, or you maybe did some delinquent shit as a kid and the police came out and they were looking for you with your spotlights and you were hiding within the shadows, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Your light can be used against you. So I'm not the biggest fan of this guy walking around with his flashlight turned constantly on, just looking around and broadcasting his location. Not the biggest fan of him being out in the open either. We got other places that he could be going to taking cover.
Oh, shit! Fuck! Alright, got him. Got fired.
So I'm guessing his body camera probably fell off. It's probably on one of those bullshit magnetic mounts or something. But did his white light and failure to use cover properly get him shot? I think it did. I mean, we do have a lot of ambient light here, a lot of security lighting here. it's possible that the bad guy could have seen him even without him shining his flashlight around. But I think that his constant broadcasting with that light and not using cover appropriately, I mean, he's in the middle of the fucking walkway right there. Easy target. I think, in a way, he got himself shot. Luckily, he survives. He gets shot in the legs. He lives. But, you know, if he's continuing doing this work, I hope this serves as a reminder to him to not make yourself an easy target. And get your fucking rifle out on a gun call. Alright, so that happens, and now you skip forward in some time, and now it's daylight coming out. SWAT team's there. I don't know how long into this is, but this standoff lasts some amount of hours. But it's daylight time now.
It's fine. That's clear, fair.
Those people on the stairs crack me up. Like, what the fuck are they doing sitting over there just lollygagging around?
Girl, he's shooting down at each side. Good deployments. I think I'm the only one.
So you can hear the very distinctive sound. Well, you can hear the very distinctive sound of a launcher being used. That one.
That's clear. Ferret's coming from the A side. Oh, man. Watch out. Hey, he's shooting. Carol, he's shooting out A side, looks like. Good deployments. I think I'm the only one.
He is talking on a radio. You just can't hear the radio chatter because he either A, has an earpiece in, or one of those helmet muffs. And I'll show you. I'll pause it here in a second so I can show you what I'm talking about.
Another good shot.
Alright, so you see his helmet. That's an ear muff to go over his ear. It's a communication, so you can see the wire coming off of that other side over there. There should be a microphone, a little boom mic to the front, but these are used for communications and for hearing protection as well. So he either has one of his down over his ear so you can listen to the communications, or he has just an actual earpiece in so you can't hear that radio chatter. But he's talking on a radio.
Give it a second, T.
Ooh. Click. That's not good. Notice these water bottles on the ground. This means they've been there for some period of time. So the launcher he's using is a one-shot launcher. It's like a breech-loaded shotgun.
Those are some ways this way, huh?
He has to fire one round.
I think they were shooting this way, dude.
Pull the empty shell out, put the new one in.
Hey, he might have been shooting at us at the
repeat. It's a very slow process. There are other launchers that fire faster, but these are cheaper and they can do just as good. They just can't have a faster rate of fire.
I think he was shooting out. Yeah, Hugo, I think he was shooting out the AD corner. I'm gonna fire one more ferret, see if I can knock that glass out for you, Troy. Damn. I didn't hit lower. I gotta hit a little bit lower, hit too high. Give me one more round. I poke my head out the same place.
So he brings up a pretty good point. He is popping out in the same place behind cover. So think about a game of whack-a-mole. Something pops out the same hole multiple times. Guess what? You're more likely to be able to whack that damn thing. Same thing in gunfights. If you're poking your body out behind cover to shoot and you stick out from the same place multiple times, your adversary can just set their sights right on that corner where they keep seeing you pop out at, and as soon as they see movement, tat, 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 you're done. So if you can, vary up where you poke out at. On this particular setup, this is the only place he's got to go. He can only go right. He can't go left out of cover. It's just to the right. But he can choose whether or not he pokes out higher or pokes out lower. You want to vary it up. That way the person can't guess exactly which way you're going to poke out at. So if you can go left and right, alternate it. Stick out to the right, do your stuff, pull back in, go to the left, poke out, do your stuff, draw back in, do the left again because they think you might be going to the right, pull back in, go to the right, go high, come back, go to the left, low, etc. Just vary it up, right? Because you don't want to become the mole in the game of whack-a-mole.
Got it. Welcome. You want to hold for gas now for a little bit? I know, dude. I thought I heard an impact around us. Yeah, that's clear. Hey, do you see impact right here on this wall? Can you see impact on this wall right here? Like a bullet impact? Okay.
So I'm not sure who these guys are. I'm pretty confident they are not SWAT. They could be negotiators. They could be like watch commanders or sector commanders or whatever. I don't know how they do their stuff. They could be command staff or they just could be negotiators. They could be detectives. I don't know. They're probably not SWAT.
Alrighty. I'm coming this way.
Yeah, if you were wanting to sit down and relax, I think this stairwell over here would have been the safest option, not hanging out so close to where bullets could come towards you. So again, like I said, definitely don't think they're SWAT, most likely negotiators or command staff or detectives.
Try to keep track of the point for
This guy right here that you see, he's most likely a team leader or commander of some sort, but he's not walking around with a rifle.
They started shooting. Wow.
So I'm looking at this sign over here, Clothes Care Center. Is that like a different way of saying laundry room? I'm guessing they just provided this footage because these guys were near some of the action. I don't know. This seems kind of useless at this point. So I'm going to skip. Well, there we go.
Are y'all ready?
So obviously some amount of time has passed. I don't know how long or anything like that. We see the guys with the gas masks on. They're going in to do work. So there's a robot right there. I'm assuming they try to put that thing into play to go up there and use this camera and get a better look about what's going on. That way no one got shot. I'm assuming because it's here that they've retracted it back because there's no sense in using it anymore. Or maybe it failed. Maybe it died right there. I don't know. More people up here. Back this up real quick. So there's a bunch of gear sitting over here. So it seems like to me they may have been sitting here for some amount of time.
Rico the Rubber. Team standing by.
They get good setups on their rifles. Obviously, these guys are capable of night vision. They got the PEC 15s on there. Of course, these are the night vision rated EOTechs. They've got the shrouds in the front of the helmets. Obviously, it's daytime, so they don't need the night vision out. But this is a pretty good setup right here. This is what you would call a 24/7 rifle. So rifles, even though when they have weapon-mounted lights on them, you're limited in the distance that you can engage targets with a weapon light. So although you could kind of, in a way, say that a rifle with a weapon light is a 24/7 rifle, it's not, in a true sense, a 24/7 rifle. It is only effective at long ranges for a small amount of time during the day, and that depends if it's during summer or winter solstice. So during the summer, obviously we have longer day hours. Winter is shorter. So whatever time of the year is whatever hours of the day is how effective your rifle is going to be at a certain distance. Nighttime comes, your flashlight's not going out to that same distance. So it's not really truly as an effective rifle as it could be. You add night vision to it, yes, it is almost just as good as it could be during the day. You can passively aim through your optic with your night vision, still make hits, use that laser on there that no one can see unless they got night vision, put it on the target, squeeze, boom, do work. They also have silencers on their rifles. Silencers, in my opinion, are a necessity for rifles, especially for this kind of work. Silencers, they don't actually silence the gunshot. The reason why they're called silencers is, one, because that's what's on the patent when it was invented. And because of that, that's what's on all the paperwork for it with the ATF. People mostly refer to them as suppressors, and that's more of a accurate word to use in the sense of how it works. It just suppresses sound. It doesn't actually silence it at all. But it does suppress that noise down to a certain level to what is hearing safe. So when you take a rifle and it's unsuppressed and you shoot it, the sound decibel is pretty loud. When you put a suppressor on it, it drops it down a little bit. It doesn't actually drop it down a whole freaking ton. Like when you look at the numbers, you're like, wow, that's not a whole lot. But it drops it down far enough to where it does not cause permanent hearing damage to your ear. So that is the benefit of suppressors, is you can shoot them and not have to wear hearing protection. Now, I would recommend for training purposes, if you're out there shooting rounds, to still go ahead and wear hearing protection just to be on the safe side. But obviously you're not going to be shooting, 200 rounds in a real engagement. Not likely. Probably, 1 to 10 rounds. And so 1 to 10 of suppressed rounds should not cause any long-term hearing damage for you. But anyway, the suppressor helps for that short-term and that long-term hearing protection. In the short term, it reduces you having any ringing of the ears. If you've ever shot a rifle without hearing protection on, your ears are ringing. It's a loud noise. If you go indoors, it's even louder. Very, very loud. So for the short term, it prevents you from ringing in the ears, so you can better communicate with other people. You can talk on the radio, hear what they're saying, talk to the people there, and not have to be like, huh? What'd you say? What? In the long term, that still helps. If you ever have incurred hearing damage, you may have some random tinnitus here and there where you just get ringing of the ears. Like, I've been laying in bed. There's no other noises going on other than like the ceiling fan or something like that, and just be laying there and just out of nowhere, beep, just a ringing damn noise in my ear. Sucks. Aside from the sound suppression, silencers will also give you better muzzle signature or a reduction of muzzle signature, so it doesn't have as much of a flame coming out of the end. That's good, so that it minimizes that, so that people can't more easily see where you're at. And the biggest benefit is at nighttime, when you are using night vision, you don't have this big flame coming out the front of the gun that flares your nods out. It's not you see obviously the flashing going on when you're using nods, but if you didn't have a silencer on there, it would just flare them out and whatnot. So it's more than just sound. It can also be for visual. Agencies can get these things a little bit more easily than private citizens. These silencers are regulated by the same laws that basically govern automatic machine guns, fully automatic machine guns. It's kind of stupid, but that's where we're at, because when you think about it, there's a lot of stupid people out there. Stupid people vote, stupid people pass laws, stupid people watch movies, and they're like, oh man, those silencers are super quiet, nobody needs those. And they have no idea that the silencers don't actually silence anything. They're actually still pretty damn loud. If you've ever been like out in the city or in a neighborhood and you hear someone doing roofing work and they got like a pneumatic nail gun going choo choo choo, that sounds like a suppressed gun. Like, it's still loud as shit. It's just not so damn loud it hurts your ears and causes damage. So you still fire these guns. People are still going to hear them. It's just not as loud. Anyway, so governments can get these more easily. Private citizens, not so much. If you want to buy one of these, you're going to be waiting a year before you are given permission by the government to take it home with you. So if you went today and you went to a gun store that had an easy system where you do the kiosk thing, where you do your fingerprints right there on the slot machine and have your passport quality photo taken and do all the paperwork there, and you pay for it right then and there, probably about a year from the day is when they will finally come back and say, yeah, you can now take this home with you. So for that whole year, even though you've paid for it, it has to sit there at that gun shop. People refer to this as NFA jail, NFA being National Firearms Act. It's a bullshit process. Like I said, it doesn't really truly silence anything. In layman's term, a silencer is like a muffler for a car. You still hear a car running. You still hear a diesel truck running. It's still loud, but it's not super annoyingly, obnoxiously loud. Like if you took a muffler off a diesel truck, you're not going to like that damn thing. Anyway, moving on. I wish this guy would put his muffs down, cover his ears. Sometimes people don't use their PPE correctly. I hate when they do this. I hate those stupid rules. That's bullcrap. So when they got in there, there wasn't any, SWAT team action going on. They went in there and they found that the guy had shot himself. The time frame and everything involved, I don't know the sequence of events. It could be that the guy saw them coming and then he decided to off himself, or it could be that this guy, it started out, he was wanting to draw the attention of the police to do a suicide by police kind of thing, and then the police never did do the thing because they set up a perimeter and waited, and he could have been shooting the gun thinking they'd rush in there to stop him or something like that, and he could have just got to the point where he was like, well, I guess the police aren't going to come do their damn job, and decided to check out on his own. That could be it, or like I said, it could be that he saw the team coming, or he saw some action that indicated that they were coming and he decided to check out at that point. Or he could have been low on ammo and had one round left and decided that he didn't want to go to prison for the rest of his life for shooting a cop. I have no idea. I wish they would kind of provide some more information on that, but they don't. The guy, his name... See if I can bring it up. Actually, I don't know if they say what his name is. All they say is the suspect, aunt and uncle were there. His aunt and uncle knew that he had mental health problems. They knew that he had guns. They had tried to call the Houston Police Department before all this had happened, like a few days or a month or something like that. And the Houston police had basically said, hey, this guy hasn't done anything wrong. He hasn't committed any felonies. He can possess guns. We just can't go take his guns away from him. They said that they knew, the family said they knew he had an AR-15, knew he had other weapons. When he had an episode, they called the police station to see what they could do to get the guns, to possibly turn them in. And it was no help because he was not a felon. The officer that was shot at the beginning of this, like I said, he lived, so that's good. He's lucky that, I don't know what he got shot with either. I don't know if he was shot with a pistol or the AR-15 they mentioned. He's lucky he didn't get hit in the chest with AR-15, or he might not have survived. Nothing else in this news article. Sometimes that's kind of the thing that happens when it comes to these mental health things and suicidal people now. They just don't really release a whole lot of information. Like this one, they just don't mention the person's name. They just mention the family member's name and that they were his family members. So I don't even know who this... Oh, they say it in the beginning. The Jamarcus Clemmons. Duh. All right. So not much else to say about this video. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.